Good evening, and bienvenue, my fond, fair friends, family, and subscribers. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, back from the dead, as some of you may have presumed. Now, as you've all pretty much can tell by the title, this is a very special and a very fun one. This one is, what if Bell was a warden? But I'm not just making him any standard, plain, average little warden. No, 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 no. He's going to be from a certain sect. He is going to be born of two very special people. He will be from a world where Apollyon and the Warden won, where the Warden gave into Apollyon's plans and rose through the ranks to the point where he was her wolf, her first true wolf, to where they would have a son. Oh yes, this is going to be quite fun. Belle was trained from a young age to know how to fight and bring forth pure, unyielding devastation on his foe. To leave no chance of possible victory. To leave no chance of any hope that they would win. He was trained in the art of the longsword not only by his father, but by his mother as well. Learning tactics from both the warmonger and the warden. And while yes, he did study more of the warden side, there's always that interlaying warmonger that dwells deep in. But enough of that. You're here to figure out how Belle got from one place to another. And I am here to tell you. It all started whenever the war was waged against a small sect of rebels. And Belle happened to be leading this charge. He was given a small amount of forces, given he was just knighted at the age of 16. Fully able and capable, with his long sword at his side, as he charged and led his forces in. Right in the front lines, he hacked and slashed his way, as he could see what these mongrels were doing in his territory, his family's territory. These sheep clinging to whatever semblance of hope that they had left. Not willing to obey the law of the land. The strong live. But in this case, they had no choice. As he kept battering down their defenses, one by one he would slaughter them, until he came to the very refuge in the back of this long cave. But there was something strange going about. The air was filled with this weird energy this strange flow that defied all logic, that defied any sort of known science. He was enthralled by this as he moved further and further in. And that's when he saw it. The rebels, attempting to make some sort of doorway. They tried to stop him upon seeing him. They sent in their remaining forces, but they were no match. As soon as one would come forth, one raider bringing his axe down, he was interrupted with a shoulder bash, followed up by a spiral slash straight through the midsection, cleaving him in twine. As the next one would come forth, a parry, straight down from his dual axes onto the ground as he was cleaved through from stem to stern. Finally, an Odachi tried to stop him, tried to cease this madness, but it was too late. As with one trip up, he grabs the blade and swings his guard straight into her skull, killing her. And he moves forward, ever so proudly, wanting to bring honor to his family, showing them that he is also a wolf, and he will succeed in his mission. But that is when something unexpected happened. One of the rebels made a run for the entrance and set off explosives, attempting to trap his forces and him in an eternal rock prison. However, the spell worked. The doorway was open. The green swirling vortex beckoned him for escape. And he did not wish to die a coward's death, being crushed under a mountain. It may seem somewhat, how you would say, flattering that the only way that they could kill me is by crushing me with a literal mountain. But he did not wish to die today, for dying is for the weak. As he went through the portal, and he was badly disoriented, to say the least, upon appearing the other side. What is this place? As he arrived in the world of Oreo. What the? Right up on the outskirts of it, people saw this black armored individual, steel and iron wrapping around his frame, with a skull emblazed upon his helm and a very ornate blade. As he moved through it, what is going on? Where is this place? I know all the lands in my father's kingdom, in my mother's kingdom. But where are we? Pardon me one moment. Where am I? As he kept searching through, disoriented and somewhat confused, as that's where he got called out by a stand owner. Excuse me, as he looked over towards her, having a menacing aura about him, not realizing that, well, him not even noticing it, as people naturally avoided him. She says, would you like something to eat? He said, as he pats his stomach for the first time. This campaign of his has taken a few days at minimum, and that battle did last for about an hour, carving through all those wretches. He went over to the stand and said, "Aye, what are you selling?" Here. As she pulls out some cooked sweet potatoes and such, and he goes, "Not meat, but acceptable." He reaches into his pouch and, "How much?" Uh, Just a few silver. He says, "I have none. Take these." As he drops down a couple of gold, and he goes, "Whoa." She goes, "You're not from around here, are you?" "No, I'm not. Not by far, it seems. I got here through mystical means. It is quite odd." I see, so you don't have a place to stay or anything like that? No, regrettably. As he raises up his visor, and upon doing so, she gets the glimpse of this fair-skinned, clean-shaven young man who isn't all that bad looking, at least in her eyes. And yes, she is quite smitten. And I'm sure you can all guess, yes, this is Hestia. As he, within about 3 to 4 bites, chows down on the sweet potato. And then asks for another. And she hands it to him. And he asks for another. And she hands it to him. And as he devours them, he asks for another. And she hands it to him. And this repeats and rinses and repeats for a little bit. Because, yes, he does have a very big appetite. Almost as if, he's been holding off on eating for something. Or he's had a good chance to get some well-seasoned food. You never know. Pardon me, he says as he moves forward and tries to finally calms down, the dark aura around him somewhat dissipating, as she says, "Wow, are you an adventurer?" As he lowers his helm, "I am no adventurer. I am a wolf." Excuse me? As he points to his crest upon his breastplate. "It's something my family says often. We are wolves among sheep. Our goal is to breed out weakness throughout the world, to seek it out and purge it." I see. Well, if you don't have a place to stay, maybe I could show you my church. "You live in a church? Are you a sister of some sorts?" No, I'm a god." My apologies, but it sounded as if you said you called yourself a god. "I am." "Oh, and what kind of god are you?" "I am Hestia, goddess of fertility." "Oh, that might explain the taste of the sweet potatoes then." "It's not funny." "Oh, then tell me, God, if you are truly one, then you must possess the strength of one, no?" "It doesn't work like that." "Oh, really?" I thought gods were supposed to be almighty and powerful, even ones as lower down as even the lowest among them being able to strike down mortal men in the dozens, if not hundreds. And you tell me you, a goddess of fertility, could not sunder my arms in armor.
I could if it wasn't for the pact.
The pact? What pact?
A pact that upon coming here, we we seal away our powers in order to properly blend in amongst the humans and allow them to and make deals with them in order to increase their power and increase the renown of our houses.
So you willingly make yourselves weaker. Why?
The world of the gods is not exactly what you would call fun or enticing. It's mostly business. Down here, everything is more relaxing, more enticing, more free.
So you act as a sheep in order to experience freedom from the shackles that bound you. You act as if being a god is servitude. You are someone of high regard, and you act as if it is a punishment.
When you live for hundreds of years, yes, it is a punishment. No one asks to be a god, except for fools and power-crazed lunatics.
My mother would somewhat agree, and even call herself the latter. Well, if the offer is still welcome, then I shall gladly accept it.
Why?
You amuse me, and I wish to know if this tale of yours is true, or if you're giving me more falsehoods.
Oh, and if I am?
Well, there's a reason my blade is stained with blood at this moment.
As she does look at it closer, and she can see dried blood caked along the edges and along his armor. Who did you...
As I said, I was brought here through mystical means. I never said where I was brought from. Until just a little while ago, I was on the battlefield. And now I'm here, talking with a would-be god. Ah, this is a most pleasurable day.
As she basically brings him over to the church and allows him to get himself set up.
I left my gear along the wagon. I will need to get supplies.
Pardon me one moment. You're gonna need some Valis for that.
I see. And where would I get this Valis?
Well, I'm sure you could go over to the, to one of the traders and they would be able to get you to properly exchange you.
Where would I find them?
Oh, there are some at the guild hall.
I see. Very well.
Hold up.
What?
You aren't going like that, are you?
Why shouldn't I?
You've got blood kind of all over you.
And I'm a warrior. Most warriors have blood caked on them.
Not when they're in the city.
You've never been to my city,
He says, walking off. Oh boy, this is gonna be awkward. as he proceeds to walk to the guild, not knowing exactly where it is, but doing what he does best, following people, following leads and such like that. He's able to find it relatively soon, as people then begin to notice the black armored individual with the skull helm and the ornate sword walking through. As the sword has no sheath, he is just quite literally holding it by the blade in his offhand as he walks forward. Uh, yes, can I help you? One of the attendants asks.
I wish to do a transfer of funds.
Transfer of funds? Yes. He brings out his gold pouch.
I'd like to transfer this gold into Valis, your nation's currency.
Yes. Okay, are you from around here?
No, this is my first day.
Your first day. Are you an adventurer?
An adventurer. No.
Well, you seem the type. If you ever feel like doing so, join a familia and we'll get you a guild card.
A familia. What is a familia?
He says in an intimidating tone, more curious in his mind, but to anyone else, yes, it's quite intimidating. As I say, it's where you make a pact with one of the gods and they join you into their family.
I see. And what do I get for binding myself to a god?
You would get you'd be allowed to enter the dungeon.
The dungeon? I thought that was a punishment. Here people willingly send themselves to torture.
No, not that type of dungeon. It's a... She points to the giant spire outside the guild house. It's a place where you can kill monsters and gain money.
Kill monsters and gain money. Monsters? What type of monsters are there?
There are quite a few different ones. From goblins to dire wolves to horned wolves to minotaurs and such. Even dragons.
Dragons!
As he begins to think of tales from his mother and father as they would read him stories or tell him tales. And he begins to smile underneath that helm like a giddy schoolboy, but the aura he's giving off is far from pleasant as he goes.
Interesting. I think I'm going to like this place.
As they get through transferring the funds and him having over, well, considering the richness of the gold as well as the strange markings, they give him 1,500 Valis as he takes that and goes,
Not bad for a paltry sum I had on my person before coming here.
As he puts the pouch onto his belt and begins to walk off. And they say, was that dried blood on him? Yes, that seemed like a lot of dried blood on him. I'm not going to ask questions about that one. Neither am I.
As he just gives off this almost frightening aura walking around through the streets.
Until one woman in particular, with blonde hair, wielding a rapier, stops him. What do you think you're doing?
I'm walking.
You're walking around causing a scene.
Causing a scene? How am I causing a scene, young lady?
You're causing a scene by acting in your manner, Sir Knight. Do you not see how you're dressed? Do you not feel the energy you're giving off?
I'm happy.
If this is how you are when you're happy, I truly hate to see you when you're angry.
Yes, you would. Care to leave me be?
Keep yourself out of trouble.
I make no promises, for trouble follows my family where we wander.
As he continues on along his way, even bumping the girl out of the way as he does, as her companions come over, as he barely hears out, "Who could do that? Does he not know who you are? That bastard! How dare he do that to the sword maiden?" As they are about to lunge at him gripping his sword tighter. Right before they make a move, she stops them, telling him he's not worth it. As he chuckles under his breath and moves forward at his standard pace. Not worth it, am I? Everywhere I look, I see sheep. I see lambs for the slaughter. Weakness in all aboundments. Mother would have too much fun in this place. Me, I will bring our culture here. I will make this place stronger, one step at a time. As he enters back into the church and thinks to himself, but first things first. Tell me something, Hestia. Yes?
Why do you live as a god? Why do you live in such a paltry place? Do you not have a familia?
No, I do not.
You have no familia. Strange.
It's not something I'm proud of, okay?
It is. I can understand. I too was weak at one point in my life. But I had people to rely on to make me stronger. Tell me, would you like some help becoming stronger?
You want to help me become stronger? How?
I was told at the guild that I would need a guild card, and the only way to get a guild card would be to join a familia. So let me be a part of your familia, Miss Hestia.
You would want to join my familia? But what about... There are others around here that might be more suited.
I believe that we should be more... How should I put this? You are currently at the bottom of the totem here. The bottom rung on this ladder, this hierarchy. Am I wrong?
No.
Me, I just got here. I am also on the bottom rung of this hierarchy. My skill with a blade is unparalleled at my home. Even my father has a hard time keeping up with me in sparring. And my mother, well, while she may be
Pardon me?
and while my mother is devastating with a blade, she does not fight me anymore ever since our last battle. She needs to, well, keep an image amongst the troops. Can't let the young pup advance too far along. So tell me, would you allow this knight, this wolf, into your service and advance you in the rankings?
Yes.
Fantastic. As he gets on one knee. I'm assuming this is part of the ceremony.
Um, yes, but you are gonna have to remove the clothing on your back.
He goes, what?
It's for the tattoo.
Tattoo? Wait, what tattoo?
It's more of a magical marking that is there to.
Oh, there's a lot more to this than I realized, isn't there?
Yeah,
Oh well. In for a penny, in for a pound. As he goes over with her and says, very well. I'll do whatever it takes to advance our partnership. And believe me when I say, this is going to be very, very useful.
as he thinks to himself.
I will use this place to breed true warriors and bring forth a great awakening amongst the people. This place will know what the wolves stand for and how wolves hunt. And soon the sheep will be weeded out. And there, my friends, is where I shall leave this one off. I know it is short, but at the same point in time, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with this particular series, if it becomes a series. Because as I said, none of these are guaranteed. It all depends on how many of y'all like it, enjoy it, and leave a comment on it. It all depends on y'all. If y'all don't want this to be a series, let it be. Same with my other type of one-shots. And they will fade away into the background. But if y'all do, give it some love. Spread it around. Show it off. And it'll replace one of the other 6 and it'll replace one of the other 6 that'll come around. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, signing off.